And we're here at the Jenkins Coal and Railroad Museum, and I have with me somebody who is really just helped me to have a great weekend, and I'd like for him to introduce himself and tell the viewers a little bit about what you're doing this weekend.
Okay. Steve Conley. Rick, it's great to finally meet you. And I've worked together to pull Reunion, which is a celebration of the lives of not just my great-grandfather, who was known as Bad John Wright, but also Tout Hall, one of his partners in crime, and Doc Taylor, Red Fox, they called him, born in Scott but traveled these same mountains. And Clabe Jones was feuded with the Wright family for about 30 years, and some of his family are here. And Ira Mullins, he and his family were massacred on Pound Mountain in 1892. So we've tried to bring all the clans together and heal some of the wounds and talk about let's live in the future and today. And the reunion has been a way to celebrate through art and music and history and genealogy what we know to date, because it's still a big mystery about how they lived.
Before we get into the reunion, let's go ahead and let the viewers get to know you. Explain to them where you were born and what you've done and where you're at in your life now.
Sure. I lovingly say I was born in East Clintwood. It's really Clint Eastwood. But I grew up in Pound, and with my mother back and forth to Ashland, Kentucky and Pound, and eventually up the river to West Virginia in Jackson County on the Ohio. But we've now kept moving east, it seems, and I'm outside of Richmond, where I've been since 1980.
And you are a doctorate?
Yes, in public administration and political science.
Okay, now that we've got that established, let's carry on a little bit further here. We got to watch a movie yesterday and explain to them how important it was to get to see the movie in the way that we saw it.
We were able, in our research in the past 6 months, to find, we knew that the John Fox novel, Trail of the Lonesome Pine, has several characters that are based on real mountaineers. Bad Roof is Bad Tout Hall. Devil Judd Tolliver is Devil John Wright. And because of that, in 1908, that was a very popular novel, and it was the first introduction of mountain people to the popular culture across the nation. There was a song that was a #1 hit song called In the Blue Ridge Mountains of Virginia, singing about June and telling a story about Jack Hale, the engineer that comes to develop coal in the area, and how he falls in love with the mountain girl. And it's still, it's still presented for 50 years at the Trail of the Lonesome Pine outdoor drama in Big Stone Gap. Fox also wrote the novel for which the Jenkins outdoor drama, Little Shepherd of Kingdom Come, is based. Different era, he based that around the Civil War. The other is for the development of the coal that happened after the Civil War.
Well, the movie we saw was a silent movie.
Yes. We found in our research that there were 2 silent movies made after the novel came out. So the one that you saw yesterday was 1916, Cecil B. DeMille directed and produced. The most famous Hollywood silent film actors of the era, and because the silent movies were usually done in small towns with a piano player to add some accompaniment and emotion and color and emphasis, we were so lucky that I called Dave Egar, who was a child prodigy, famous pianist and cellist. I asked him, would you like to write a script or a score for a silent film? And he got excited. And when I sent him the DVD, which we received from the George Eastman Foundation for Movie Preservation, he wrote a score in about 8 days. And what you saw was him playing the score. So he was playing the gunfights and the love scene and the fire scene and the smoke and all. And wasn't it fascinating?
I heard sounds come out of a piano that I've never heard in my life before. I don't know how he did it.
I don't know if you could see him in the dark with the movie on, but if you were close, he was reaching into those hammers. Okay. And when the horses ran by, he was hammering with his fingers on the hammers.
That explains a lot.
I didn't know what he was doing to the second time.
You are related to Devil John Wright, I believe.
Yeah, my mother is Clarence Wright's daughter, and Clarence was Devil John's son, born 1903. But Clarence had 10 brothers and sisters, and they lived here and both in Jenkins and in Dunham, and then eventually after John sold his land in Kentucky, they moved over Pine Mountain into Pound. So that's where Dad grew up.
Well, you have done so much to put this together. I know you have to be worn out.
Oh, we are. But we're so happy that it's been successful.
Are there plans to make this an annual event?
Not by me. No, we will. We will. What we wanted to show Letcher and Wise and the surrounding area is that as coal has dropped and the economy is disrupted, there is so much rich history here that it's possible to do historical tourism with the beauty of the mountains and bringing in real tales of truth and struggle of how people survived after the Civil War in this part of the world. And I think that is a rich vein to be mined and to be looked at. There are jobs, there are ways to train people, and I think it can help the community to come back.
You're 100% correct on that, and there are some folks that are moving in that direction. One thing I think our viewers will find a little comical is what were you doing when you were around 20 years old? I saw you in a picture and was fascinated.
You definitely loved it. I took 4 young men to White Lake, New York, and we went to this music festival that had a lot of important people. I liked the looks of who was coming, but it was Woodstock once we got there, and legendary since. But we had a minor reunion this weekend with some of the young fellows that went with me.
And this is the first person I've ever talked to that I know went there, so I'm not worthy. I mean, this is just too cool.
We had a great time.
I bet
and
you
I
did.
remember every part of it. So straight, sober, enjoyed it. Joe Cocker, I was 10 feet from him.
Oh my gosh, oh my. Tell me you got to see Jimi Hendrix.
I was so tired that I missed him.
Oh man.
We left, and when we were 5 miles away, we could hear Crosby, Stills, and Nash still playing. But we'd been there since Tuesday. We got a really good ride, hitchhiking. And so we were hungry, tired, muddy, wet, and exhausted, and we left right after midnight Saturday.
One of the mud people.
That's right. We were. But tell you what, coming back, if you had mud on your jeans and you were hitchhiking, they'd pick you up because it was announced on the radio and TV just like a war.
Wow. Wow. Well, listen, I want you to know the people here in the mountains, we really appreciate everything that you guys have done. I have learned things in the last few days that I absolutely did not know. It's been an epiphany.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Oh, and I've done the same. So you're learning what we've picked up. Thank you, Rick.
Thank you.
Okay.